Hello, this is the analysis of Nathaniel. Back here with, so this is basically a ranking part 2, PS4 collection games. So all the PS4 games that I've played over the years, I ranked them, So I already did part 1 of 2. No, this is part 2 of 2. So part 1 I did rankings 42 to 20. And so this is 19 down to 1. So this is really the top 20 I'm doing now. If you guys watching this, you guys know subscribe button mark down there. Please press on it, please. And Happy New Year too. Happy New Year if I missed saying it already. Yeah, the last year went by a weird year with all the pandemic and all that. Yeah, so now I did something like this here last May or April, where I ranked the PS4 game, but this is a re-ranking because I got new games over last year, right? And those games are going to be included like in the ranking. And again, in my opinion, all subjective. Let me know what you guys think. Have you guys played any of these games? You guys plan to play any? You guys know. So anyways, now number 19. Now we're on 19. 19 Just Cause 3, and I'm gonna add timestamps so you guys know which game goes with. Just Cause 3, good game. Good game, fun, lots to see, lots to explore, lots to, like you're exploding, you're blowing up things, right? Grenades, and you got a grappling hook, so there's no slow pace. It's just constant action. There's you can grapple to wherever you want as long as you're in range. So it's pretty fun, lots to see. Again, lots of bases, beautiful scenery, and huge maps. Well, that's where like really stands out. The maps are like an actual country, like 500 to 800 square miles of like this huge island you're on, of huge, like lots of sceneries and upgrades and tons of vehicles, helicopters, jets. Although why didn't I rank it higher? Because again, it has a problem of there isn't really much to do outside the main campaign. Or there's lots to there isn't really like a whole lot to explore unless you're discovering like a car for the first time, or a certain jet or helicopter or attack helicopter. And there isn't really much to do, and the story itself could be better. 19, so 19 again, top 19. Number 18 is Crash 4, the new game I recently got over the Christmas break. Harder than it is harder than the first 3 Crashes, in my opinion. At least in my opinion. I played 5 hours of it, 5 to 6 hours of it so far, but enjoyable, very enjoyable. They add more props to the game, and it's a lot more arcadey now. There's a lot more layers to the gameplay. There's something where you switch. There's the platform switching, right? So you can, with a certain a type of power up or whatever, you can switch platforms on and off, right? But yeah, and the boss fight, it's harder. It's a lot harder. It's challenging, but it really keeps you in the game. Like it has that magic about it where you will die a lot, right? You'll die, and then you want to do sections over and over and over again just to get past it through it. And it's a lot of trial and error, just fun. The classic Crash Bandicoot. Yeah, now it is a bit different from the older ones because it has the option where in the trilogy remake or whatever, you will die, and then once you get to 0 lives, you gotta do that whole level over again. But this one has checkpoint system where upon starting like a new game, even like if you have 0 lives, I believe you don't have to do the whole level again. And some of the levels will go on long. You'll die, and then you'll have to redo the whole thing again. Yeah, so you gotta go through the whole, and the platforming is harder in this one. It is harder. But yeah, Crash 4, number 18. Number 17, Titanfall 2. Talked a lot about this game. But my favorite, arguably one of my favorite FPS type games. Like first person shooters, like the campaign is perfect. Graphics beautiful. Large scale, right? You're in like this mech, right? This huge 20-foot mech, basically. It's huge, massive, lots of weapons. And then the mechanics feels good, the controls feel solid, the movement fluent, very fluent, a fluent gameplay. Although camping could be longer, and the multiplayer could be more I felt, I released the game like in a bad time, as you guys know, between a Battlefield and a Call of Duty, and it's not gonna work. It's gonna be they're gonna get out competitive. It's gonna be too competitive, right? So not a lot of people got to play the multiplayer kind of died as a result, But yeah, Titanfall 2. I highly recommend if you guys like first-person shooters. That's number 17 again. And 16 is Battlefield 1. I hope I have it here. Yeah, Battlefield 1, 16. Again, timestamp, so I'm gonna add timestamp so you guys know. Now again, multiplayer because I played endless amount of multiplayer like in the game. My endless. This is harder. You're gonna die fast. The time to kill is very quick, so you really gotta pay attention. But like great multiplayer, and obviously the weapons, they're more outdated. They're not weapons of today. The World War I weapons, right? So you got semi-automatic, right? And you got sniper rifles of the time, and yeah, but the classic Battlefield game modes, like you'll have Conquest, you will have Rush. There's a new one, they add Pigeon, right? War of Pigeons, and then they have the war stories, or documentaries of people that fought in World War I, or I believe it's made up, and then you can play through their perspective as a single player. It's a single player, but yeah, fun, and really the narration was so well done. Even the narration in the multiplayer, like you'll have someone narrating, say, "Oh, the enemy has taken outpost C or objective Charlie or whatever," and then you guys it's a very nice dialogue. That's number 16. Number 15. No, we're in the top 15. Again, I do 15 on the one. Resident Evil 2 remake. I don't have the actual case because this is a digital game. 2 remake again. Really immersive game. Very immersive game. Lots to explore. Backtracking, which really works with this game. Hard, difficult, challenging. Like I'm addicted. Like to this game. Like when I play it, I can't put the controller down. The only thing is that it is too short, so once you get to the end, you're gonna have to rely on. You can kind of, there's like a dual perspective, so you can play as different characters, as the 2 different characters here, Claire and Leon, and then they have different perspectives, like on the campaign. They're different, slightly different. You can replay it, a replayability there. So after you finish the campaigns, there is a challenge mode, right? There's one where it's very hard. You play as a SWAT guy, right? And you gotta escape the research base or whatever, or get to the helicopter within a certain amount of time, and you gotta get through all the zombies and bosses. Yeah. But yeah, challenging, and like with the resource similar, you really gotta track your resources. That's what really makes Resident Evil stand out. That's the resource tracking and a balancing between like health, ammo, quest items, and really, really knowing what to use and what's necessary, and you gotta store. On hard difficulties, you can't save the game. You cannot save. You gotta, you can save, but you can only save at the typewriters at a certain checkpoint. Whereas normal difficulty, you can save at any time you want. So yeah, that's number 15. Top 15 now. 14 now. Number 14, Star Wars Fallen Order Jedi. Unique, very Uncharted like game, and Devil May Cry, third person kind of action adventure hack and slash, like a multi-genre, many genres in one. If you guys like Star Wars, please play this, and it's a great Star Wars story. Great Star Wars. The internet talks a lot about Star Wars, right? But yeah, no, lots of different enemy designs I like. The pairing is fun. The gameplay is fun. Also, overall gameplay is really, really, really fun. Lots to see, many different areas to see, and you go to different planets, and although the story kind of there is fragments of the story I could kind of tell, but yeah, overall though, man, like they did great. Like what they had, Cal Kestis and Grease, and like the Evil Empire looking for the Jedis, and yeah, but the puzzles can get annoying, which is why I didn't rank it higher to certain puzzles, right? Platforming, and yeah, but you have like the different Jedi abilities like telekinesis. You can slow down certain objects. You can push this. There's these giant spheres that you have to push to get past a puzzle. But yeah, number 14. And for you guys wondering again, this is part 2 of 2 PS4 collection ranking. So I updated, so it's not the same, so it's slightly different. They're gonna be shifted around some of the games from before. Next game is gonna be Devil May Cry 5. No, not Devil May Cry. 13 is gonna be Infamous Second Son. 13. Again, timestamps will be added. There isn't really much bad. There's almost nothing really bad you can say about this, other than the campaign is too short. The story isn't as good as the first 2 games. It is lacking in certain story areas, but aside from that though, like you get different powers. I know I talked about this before. Different power sets and upgrades. And the overall experience of the game is very fun, and like you'll die a lot. You can die a lot, even though it's a relatively easy game. You can die if you don't like invest in the proper upgrades for this and that, and for durability or ability to drain powers quickly. You get smoke, neon, video, concrete powers, right? And through upgrading the powers, you get to explore these different layers of powers, and yeah. But there is like it's missing like a certain challenge mode in the game. But overall fun experience, like the fighting and the like you have superpowers. You don't really get many games like that. Like where it's a third person superpower, single player action adventure, open world, So yeah. It's one of the early PS4 games too. One of the earliest PS4 games. Number 13. Number 12. Now again, number 12 timestamp, so I will be added. DMC5. Like great, like a great game. Just the overall three protagonist. You can play as obviously Nero. There's a Dante, the main guy, and V. Very fun, lots to see, lots to explore. Well, not really explore, but the overall level design, and the different enemy variety is pretty good. Tons of different enemies, lots of different enemies you're gonna come, encounter, and with the different playable characters, they all have different play styles. Nero plays slower pace, but a heavy hitter in certain parts, and V, he relies on demons to do the attacking for him. And Dante is like the perfect mix. You want fast pace. He's like the jack of all trades. He has everything, right? He has heavy hitter. He has a perfect parry, fast pace, can teleport, perfect projectiles and all that. Third person, so it's like Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, like a third person action adventure. And boss fights near the end is really good. Gets very good, and like I can really feel the scale for the boss fights and the suspense, really. But yeah, a bit slow early on, which is why it gets like I almost made the top 10 actually, but a bit slow early on. They could have really picked up the pace in this. But yeah, I really like the last 2 games could be really switch around this with like the previous 2 games, but there's something about this that stands out that gets it the number 12. Again, it's only PS4 games. 11 is Crash Bandicoot Trilogy, the original. It's a remake of the original. Notice I can't say anything. There's nothing negative about this game that I can remember. Now, tons again platforming. Your typical you'll have 2D platforming, 3D platforming. And obviously, so it's a remake of the first 3 games, right? So, for those of you like don't know, right? 1 being the hardest, and then 3 being the easiest, 2 being like a mixture of difficulty between the 2. Yeah, but you didn't really get upgrades. There isn't really much upgrades unless you unlock certain abilities later on, like in 3. I believe there is the double jump, and then There's a double jump and what was it again? The dash down or something like that. I can't remember. There's another one that makes you spin faster. Your melee attacks are faster and more prolonged, right? But hard game, really hard. Especially one where the platforming, you know, it can trick you. You really gotta judge your distance. Just like in Crash 4, it's really judging the distance of, or if I jump too high here, I'm not gonna make the jump and I'm gonna fall down and yeah, with the boss. But 3 is really easy. 3 is really easy, but really the most variety of enemies that you come across, because Crash 3 does do the time travel. Look up my walkthrough for this. They do time travel, whereas the other two, whereas one you're mainly like in the same area, but like, you go to different areas. You know, depending like on the level, and then 2 there is kind of like a portal transfer or something like that. But yeah, fun, like really, really, really good game. If you guys like those classic type of platformers, please check it out. Now, top 10, we're in the top 10 now, right? So, again, based on my opinion and timestamps, I will be added. 10 is Batman Arkham Knight. I know, controversy. You know, not controversial, but like it barely made my top 10. Arkham Knight, what I like about it is that upon playing the game, you really feel Batman. You really feel like you're playing as Batman in Arkham City, no, in Gotham. Like I remember watching the Dark Knight movie many years ago, and then I'm wondering like, what would a game look like? The Dark Knight, what's the one with the Joker movie? That's like it's one of my favorite movies ever. I'm like, I imagine if they made a Batman game, like a realistic feeling Batman game. This one really feels like you really feel, you know, the graphics. Like 2015, like one of the early ps4 games, but still, like really, really, really good. And the, you know, although like it was lacking like in certain areas, in boss fights and story, but yeah, a story is, I don't know, a story really adds that extra layer of good experience that some of the games would have been ranked higher if not for their story. But yeah, now tons of upgrades, lots of gadgets, lots of side missions. Some of the side missions that could have been better, but you really get to see alternate perspectives sometimes too. There is switch between playable characters, and the challenge mode is why I put it in top 10, because upon playing, I can play, there's combat matches you go into, right? And you can kind of choose a different perspective and play as Nightwing in a certain challenge mode here, or play as Catwoman in challenge mode here, or Robin, or Harley Quinn, or Azrael. You know, kind of get to gauge and see like which one, what's a highest score you can get like with each character. I can't talk. This Predator stealth maps, challenge mode, and lots of skins, customizable skins. Not a whole lot of microtransactions, unlike Avengers 2020. My gosh, but yeah, that's number 10. Number 9 is Metal Gear Solid 5. I talked a lot about this, but I quickly tons of exploration, lots to see, immersive, like perfect mechanics in the game. Your movement, the running, the shooting, the climbing, all feels very realistic. And the story, all the cinematics, perfect cinematics. The story could have been better. Again, this is why it gets a lower, and side missions are repetitive, similar to Arkham Knight. But aside from that, there's not much really to say bad about this one. There isn't. Yeah, no, cinematics is what really makes the game stand out, you know. That's number 9. Number 8, yeah, here's the one. I recently uploaded gameplay to this. 8 is Destroy All Humans. I know Destroy All Humans has a special place in my heart, because the second Destroy All Humans, Destroy All Humans 2, 2005, or was it 2006? Look it up. One of my third favorite game of all time. I have so many memories with that game, and then this one is a remake of the first game. Wow, like it has that magic now. Like it does have that magic from that second Destroy All Humans PS2 game. with you know, his superpowers, mind control and body snatching, you know, shape shifting and all that, and espionage, side missions, lots of side missions. But this one, actually, no, this one didn't have as many side missions, but great dialogue though, like lots of dialogue and voice acting and lots of sea exploring and a funny story, like one of those funny, unique type of stories, right? You're an alien foreign to Earth, right? And then your main objective, like, is to kind of sabotage the human race, but then like you actually end up saving it because there's other people with these agendas, right? That, yeah, but it's kind of weird. It's weird, yeah. No, not as many weapons, which is why I would have given it like a higher rank, but it didn't have as many weapons. You think a remake would add more weapons, but no. Yeah, but Destroy All Humans, I highly recommend it if you guys like that type of. It's kind of like a semi-cartoon, fun type of game, you know, arcade type game and challenge modes. That's number 8, and again, timestamps will be added. Number 7, again, number 7 is Spider-Man. Spider-Man ps4 2018. My opinion, the perfect version of Spider-Man. This is the perfect version. Portrayal or adaptation of Spider-Man. Perfectly swinging. The story complements the character so well, you know. And like I wasn't a fan. I'm not a fan of the Tom Holland MCU Spider-Man. This one, this one is way better than it. This is way better. But yeah. Now side missions, exploration, has all those different things, you know. Replayability, because you can replay the game on New Game Plus, and you get lots of different gadgets and abilities and costumes, tons of costumes, tons of alternate looks for Spider-Man, and there's no as far as I played into it, there is no microtransactions except for the story DLC, which can get really annoying at times, the microtransactions and where you gotta pay to get this uniform. There's almost none of that in this game. Now, Sinister Six, it does introduce the Sinister Six in a perfect way. You know, you have like all the different. You have lots of. Just the tie-ins were done perfectly in with you guys on Mr. Negative and Norman Osborn and all that, you know, and it does implement Miles Morales into the game, and but yeah, really fun, and like just really fun game playing through the missions, and it does share that Arkham, like an Arkham City or Arkham Knight type combat, right? It is similar. There's a combat overall feel like for the combat, but open world, like New York City, really complements Spider-Man well. Number 6, or top 6. Number 6. Oh, I hope I can find it here. 6 is gonna be Horizon Zero Dawn. Really, Horizon Zero Dawn really, interchangeable with Spider-Man. But like I talked about it before, but a futuristic, alternate type of reality. You got a tribal humans living in a world where there's futuristic robot type animals. Where lots of sea in the world and beautiful graphics, beautiful facial designs, nice voice acting. Story, I could be a bit better. The civilization differences, right, with Meridian and Nora, and and just the overall approach of how you can approach a certain scenario where you're basically like a human. So are you gonna die quickly? These giant robots will kill you quickly, but you take it stealthy. You can even hack into the machine so they fight for you with the proper upgrades and different weapons you can get. You got the different elemental. You got ice, fire. There's poison. There is something where it's extra. It's an extra damage type bolt where it'll automatically make metal parts collapse off the robot. You know, it can damage robots really heavily, you know. But yeah, Horizon Zero Dawn number 6. Highly recommended, and the new one's coming out soon. Red Dead Redemption 2 number 5, the top 5. Red Dead 2, woo, the most immersive game I've ever played. Like this, how well you feel, how connected are you feel to that world. Great job with the game, really, really, really great job. And playing the game, my first time playing is like I could not put the controller down. The controller like was in my hand, and I remember I had to study for an exam. But I was like, man, I wanted to play this so badly. Like I forgot I had to study. So I had to put down the controller and turn off the console. But immersive, and the characters, like every character you meet in the world feels real. That's type of magic to the game. There's that magic to it, right? So Arthur Morgan, you guys will know, he's the main character in the game, and you guys are like in a cowboy era, and cowboy era is slowly dying off around this time in 1899. Tons of side missions, strangers and freaks. Lots to explore. Lots. Animals has over 150 different species of animals in the game. I believe it's 330. So bears, birds, deers, mooses, and elks, and eagles, and alligators. There's so many, and lots of sceneries. You know, you got the north, south, west, east. Lemoyne, which is like New Orleans, you got swampy type area and it's very civilized. You got the civilized area, and you got the grassland areas, and you got the north part of the map, which is snowy type Arctic area, and you got the southern part of the map, which is the New Austin desert. It's literally a desert you get to go to, and yeah, like very immersive world, and the characters like the main characters around you, they feel like watching them talk is like watching an episode of Game of Thrones. Really well done. There's the character complexity and morally great characters, the decisions you have to make, and yeah, Red Dead 2. Number four. Uncharted 4. Red Dead was close to beating this, but Uncharted 4, I believe gameplay wise it is better in overall movement and mechanics. Red Dead does have that slow gameplay mechanics and the feel to the character. The character moves slow like he's fat, right? Almost like he's fat, but the character movement is very fluent, and great story moments in this game, man. Beautiful sceneries, nice graphics, facial, again, all the main things, right? Action adventure at its best, like really at its best. I look up any other I played a Tomb Raider, which is kind of similar to this, but this one just captures the action adventureness of it, you know, of mix between shooting, stealth, I can't wait to see the environment, what it looks like next, and the puzzles and climbing, dodging, and this is a story, and this story adds so much layers to it. Him meeting his brother, I get to meet his brother, Nathan Drake's brother, for the first time, and well done, really well done, and the characters, they gotta make these huge decisions, and now I will say that the shooting, there are times when the shooting will get very annoying, like you'll die a lot, right? But that's kind of annoying, like when to stealth versus when to go guns blazing. There is a time where you'll be outnumbered, and that's when you gotta go with stealth, right? Then plus you got the multiplayer, which is hard, but overall enjoyable game. Now when I play the game, I can't wait to see what happens. Now we're in the top three. Top three, again, based on my opinion, right? And I re-ranked the games, so before, like, I had the games ranked differently, but now they're ranked a different way. That's why I had to update. But number 3 is Ratchet and Clank 2016. A remake of the original Ratchet and Clank, but this is 2016. It came out 2016. One of my favorite PS4 games, because it really captures really everything you love about gaming is in this game. It's fun. It has the classic arcade feel to the game. You know, lots of enemy variety. You go to different planets, exploration. So the story could be a bit better. Great, a funny dialogue is very cartoonish, right? A cartoon like, and the boss fight like near the end is very hard. You gotta really time, and yeah, lots of weapons as well. Lots of weapons you get, like a huge, like that's one thing that's unique about Ratchet and Clank, the weapons. And has that the more you use the weapon, the more the weapon gets upgraded. So if you have a weapon that you're not using, the weapon won't get upgraded. Or like there's a level. Each weapon has a level 1 to 5 system, where the more you use the weapon, and obviously some weapons aren't gonna be as good as the others, right? Which is naturally gonna happen in the game. But but just the overall feeling of switching between weapons, like I'll show you this weapon for this scenario. Does this weapon work well against this enemy? Like just knowing what to use, when to use it, and retrying. You're gonna die, right? If you play on hard, you're gonna die a lot, and near the end. And if you retry, and then you'll see, does this weapon do well against this enemy? And there's a weapon that makes the enemies dance. It basically distracts them, so they don't attack you at all. They'll dance, and which gives you an opportunity to attack them. Great game. Like if you guys haven't played this, I highly recommend it. I bought it when it was like $44, a Canadian, right? So now it's probably $9 or $19, cheap. Top two, we're in the top two. One of these I'm currently playing like for the 5th time. Playing through the campaign a 5th time. It is Witcher 3, number 2, top 2. So quickly, like great, like a great story, dialogue. I don't even okay, like great story, dialogue, huge open world, tons to explore, lots and lots of side missions. That's where the game really stands out. Like I tried playing one time, I tried playing only the story missions, but you need to play the side mission because the side missions will get you currency. And then near the end of the game, you're gonna need currency to buy stronger armor sets and stronger swords, and you're gonna need to upgrade like the different magical powers you get, right? And the cinematics too, like the cinematics and the decisions, right? So the cinematics, well done. It's kind of implemented into the decision making like of the game, man. Your choices really have certain choices in the game really have an impact on what will happen later on, or like you will make a choice and then either this will happen or another thing will happen. Then some will benefit you, some others won't. So you gotta really know, and offers that sense of replayability. You can read, and then with the replayability, you can choose go back and am I gonna do mission heavy, main story heavy content or side mission heavy content, or like do I just wanna explore? Like do I want to explore, and you can do like a mixture of all those 3 different things, right? And every character you meet, similar to Red Dead, is real. It feels like real people, but it has that medieval type setting, kind of a Lord of the Rings type feel to it, but very Game of Thrones. It has that greatness. Like whenever you watch an episode of Game of Thrones, you'll know like the greatness of it. And when it was good, it's similar to this. Like that's in this, like that political warfare and character complexity. Yeah. Now the mechanics. The only reason why I didn't put it as 1, this would have got 1 if not for the mechanics. They're a bit dodgy and messy, like how the character moves and the movement doesn't really feel fluent. But yeah, number 2. The number 1 is pretty much the same as the last time, but again, timestamps I will be adding. Number 1 is God of War 4, God of War 2018, whatever I want to call it, but this is the 4th main God of War. It was really God of War 8 or God of War 7, one of them. Because before this, there were 6 other God of Wars, but man, like I could play this over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. Like just the overall starting like of the game, the chemistry between these 2 characters, and they're in like Kratos is Greek and he's migrated to this kind of Viking land, right? A Scandinavian land with a Norse mythology, right? He's coming from Greek mythological areas, and he some of the cultural things he doesn't really quite understand. Again, this Viking world is kind of dying off, right? In Midgard, but you meet a certain like some of those mythological Norse characters like Mimir. And then Mimir will tell you lores, Lore, mysteries about the world and how it came to be. Large scale, like huge scale, like this is scale of the overall, like the world is big. It's very big scale. And yeah, like you'll feel like a Kratos is a pretty big guy, right? Well, half god, half human. He's like a 6'6" or so, but he looks like, even like certain areas you go to, like you're small in comparison like to the overall architecture. Now again, quickly, side missions. It has the side missions. The exploration is fun. The story really, really, really well done. Really well done here. Like I can't wait to see what happens next. What's gonna happen next? What's Kratos gonna do? What am I gonna run into? What am I gonna fight? And you got like dragons, zombie type creatures, ice dead creatures. You got like things like there's something like a half lizard, half cat type digger, like he digs through the ground and come up and get you. You got, obviously you got the Baldur's type boss fight, right? So yeah, but lots to see. And elves, you got elves, you go to different realms. Each realm is unique. There's one realm you go to and it looks very unique than the other realm, right? With the newest one coming out this year, hopefully, hope, God of War 5 or Ragnarok. That's probably gonna overtake this. Well, no, I wanna get a PS5, right? I'm gonna eventually do a PS5 ranking 5 years from now, and then I'm gonna hopefully have the sequel to this and that ranking as well. So yeah, that's it. That's again top updated PS4 ranking PS4 games. And if you guys want my other one, I'm gonna put it down there in the description. And my previous one from last year. This is part 1. Part 2 was made. No, part 1 was made last week. Part 2 was made this week. So again, part 1 rankings are 43 or 44 to 19. Part 2 rankings 19 to 1, and I go 19 down to 1. Timestamps will be added. Let me know what you guys think. Like, subscribe, share the video. You guys know the basis. Subscribe button mark down here. Very important. Thank you.